Yo, we back again. We up in
Layla, the lecture hall at USF. You're talking about school now.
Oh man,
This was my place at
we
school.
we back we back at it. We back at it, and we're gonna talk about I guess we're gonna talk about
Physics or something.
biology and evolution, and let me just get straight to it. So if you didn't notice, this is biology. Mammals, humans, but mammals.
Mammals are the ones with hair.
Yes, warm-blooded with hair.
Okay.
Yeah, mammary glands and whatnot. So when we go through gestation, all human beings start off as female, at least parts. Genetically, we have our X and X chromosome for women. X
I
and Y
thought it was
chromosome
the other
for
way
men.
around. See, I'm not ready for this podcast. I thought it was the other way around.
No, every human
Because the
being.
clit even stays a clit or grows into a pin. No? Wasn't it like that?
We all start off initially built like female, and then we mature into as we grow in our mother's womb. Then we
Okay.
turn.
I'll go with that. Okay, makes
All right,
sense.
in general understanding.
I see
Okay.
it.
Now, I say that to say this: at some part of the evolutionary road, there might have been a time when there were only maybe females. You know, and in insects, amphibians, lizards. There are other creatures that can still switch back and forth. But let's just keep that to kind of keep it condensed. My question to you is this: if we were to take evolutionary aspects into play, are men in the present understanding, are we necessary?
Yeah.
Let me give you a little prevent. You already said yeah, but let me get. So women have menstruation cycles, and they get pregnant. Those periods make women very vulnerable.
Okay.
9 months, or gestation period down, and the period, down. It was based on vulnerable. They're vulnerable.
The period.
Yeah, I know I said that. The duration.
Okay, yeah, that makes them weaker in many ways.
Yeah,
During those periods of time.
Between
Period. Get it?
put a period. But so it makes women vulnerable, females vulnerable to disease, susceptible to, say, predators, whatever have you, whatever adversarial, variables that could be there. Those periods make the female of our species very vulnerable, right?
Okay. I understand.
I was having this conversation with my mom, and I was just like, I believe that males have gotten the biological attributes to protect and provide for females out of biological need. That's why we're physically stronger, more aggressive. We are maybe hunters gatherers. We're more. We can be more territorial. For the main aspect of protecting the female of our species, to protect them during these periods of incapacitation, whether it be menstruation cycle or pregnancy. Do you believe, to some regard, since we all biologically start off as female, even though at genetic level I'm still trying to figure that, I have to go back and look at the science of that. Do you think that biologically, genetic, and from an evolutionary standpoint, males were created to protect females, or do you think it's just a natural path that just happened? We just split.
No, I think that it was meant to be that way. And that's because, like, how our ancestors were at the very beginning, like they didn't have jobs, they didn't have none of that. They lived kind of like animals, so they were trying to survive, and that's it. So they want to eat, they want to hunt for them and their families or their wives, because the female was pregnant, so she's not gonna go out there and risk herself because she's carrying the life of the future generations.
That we have an innate aspect to protect.
Exactly, yeah. I don't think that's a limiting belief as to how our society has to work or how we should be as men or women. No, but I think that how we were designed, at least at the very beginning, yes. It's just that today, clearly times have changed.
Yeah.
So you don't really have an excuse for that anymore. But at the very beginning, Yeah, I do think so. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, because I was looking at different animals that kind of do protect their young. Fish do it, or some arachnids do it, insects do it, and kind of going up from there. There are only a few animals, there's a number of animals that don't protect their young, that once they're young hatch, they kind of go off and do their own thing instinctually. Um, when you look at it like that, like sharks. Sharks, a lot of sharks they don't care for their brood. They don't, a lot of insects, various
So they just
young
kind of have offspring and
they already go do their own thing. They go off, they instinctually
so
do
they
their
don't have
own
that
thing.
instinct to like protect their future.
Or they don't kind of sit around each other. Like there are
That's
ones.
interesting. I thought all animals did that.
No, think about it. There's some snakes that once a snake is born on the eggs, it goes off on its business. But then crocodiles and alligators protect their young. Birds protect their young because they have to go through a period. We protect our young.
It's kind of like us humans, like with different cultures, right?
Mhm.
Like maybe some families are more inclined to be invested in their sons or daughters' lives, like for a longer period of time, and some others
Yeah, because
ones are like, you're 15, you're
we
good.
have a longer period of maturity. We take a long time to mature. Most mammals are like that, but like rodents, that some of them they mature quickly, but they're still taken care of. Because milk producing and all that. So the mammals stay closer to their mothers, or their groups because of the support system. Whereas, let's just say, like there are fish, like fish. A lot of fish, once they hatch from the eggs, they swim out and do their own thing.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot
I
of
thought it
fish.
was every animal did that.
Certain fish take care of their young, like seahorses. Some fish protect their brood and keep them closer till they're old enough to go in and they leave. But others, they don't.
Because supposedly there's an instinctual thing we have that when you have a kid, or like when animals have like their offspring, they're like their DNA is shared with them. So like they're like a part of them.
Yeah,
So they also want to protect them. And by protecting them, like you're gonna die one day, but it'll probably be sooner than your kids. So when your kids is gonna go out there and do the same thing you're doing now.
Yeah.
So it's like you're preserving yourself and your heritage and who you've been in this life.
Yeah.
And you're passing it down.
Yeah, not all creatures have a
Sorry.
inclination to protect their young. There are creatures out there, usually these are arthropods, that if their young are around them for too long, they will eat them. They will see them no different than prey. They'll eat them.
Don't some dogs do that too?
Dogs, no, when mammals,
or something like that.
Yeah, when mammals end up eating their young, they eat their young because they notice that there's a defect. So bears do it. A lot of rodents do it. Or sometimes if a young offspring dies, they eat it because they need nutrients. Especially animals that hibernate. Bears will eat the cubs because what's the point if they die? There's no milk. The cubs die. So it's kind of like one of those.
But I don't think they think logically like that.
No, they're not thinking logically. It's an instinctual aspect of demand.
Like this is something going to waste. Let me help myself, kind of thing.
Yes, it's one of those things that this
that makes more sense.
So that's the same thing where, like, when I look at, like, we have logic, but if you look, say, out in Africa, in the Serengeti, if an animal's offspring cannot survive, they leave it. They do their best, but if it cannot survive, they can't risk their own survival with an offspring that can't survive. If a gazelle is lame and it can't walk, it's food. They leave it. They can't carry it with them. There's territorial battles between animals. Hey, lions, when the lions take over a pride, they usually kill the other cubs that are like 2 years old or younger to make room for their own genetics. These are aspects of our human animal that we fight against, and we've used time to kind of distance ourselves from, but it's still very well developed within us. This is we ethically assume that parents are supposed to care for their children, but there are so many examples of where it's very understood that many men and women don't care anything for because you spawn children, you create them. You create them. They come from your body. You have an inclination to them because they're children, but when it push comes to shove and you have to survive, a lot of people do not care about children. They're a commodity. They're a thing.
That's crazy, man.
It's crazy, but
Couldn't see that.
it is what it is, man. And that's why I think like males, at least mammals, I think because in a lot of species, the females are bigger than the males, unless the male has to fight and fight for her attention. So males that have to fight for attention, rams and bulls and peacocks and stuff and roosters, they have to put on a display. They're usually bigger, more flamboyant to attract females.
Oh yeah, when they go like that and they walk
and
like
all
that.
Yeah, because females look pretty basic, because it's the males that can put on a show, or they have to be fight, or they have to defend.
Or the peacocks with the things like.
Exactly. So I think males in a lot of species have been genetically or evolutionarily created to serve a certain purpose. And because of that purpose, it's put us in a position a lot of times where we are, knowing that hopefully we were to serve the protection of, the mothers that do, foster the children, that, do birth the children. But at least for the human aspect, we got all y'all jacked up. So
I mean, there's not really right or wrong answer if something or somebody, I mean, well, two animals. If they don't want to care for their, offspring, if I'm thinking if X animal will have an offspring and then just let him like go out and stuff, it's like it happened to them and they were just fine. So I don't think it's necessary to like nurture them and really show them.
Some animals are instinctive. Like
if they do it, they know more about themselves and their own life than we do.
Yeah, so some animals,
it's their thing.
That's how some animals are built.
So who are we to say it's wrong or right?
Yeah, humans are built a little bit different.
In our society, since we have this what do you call it? This I can't think what you call it. And we're more social creatures.
We are social creatures.
We need that. So I get it for humans.
And we have a longer developmental that duration into maturity. It's a lot longer.
It's a lot longer. So you need to be
years.
You need to be next to someone. Yeah. And then also the way our society is set up, you need a mentor, you need a coach.
You need someone to teach you because
you need someone to teach you.
We don't have a lot of innate instincts to do certain things as human beings.
Hopefully you're shown the good things. Hopefully if you're shown the bad things, you're smart enough at a very early age to know that that's wrong and you shouldn't.
No, right and wrong is a social construct. We don't know.
Yeah, but right. Like if you got mama and daddy out there, smoking people and getting in trouble and all that.
Well, right and wrong is more basic than that. What we learn.
Okay, so see it as right and wrong, I guess.
Yeah.
Like whether it comes to survival, like if you do these things, you might get closer to
attacking someone, being selfish, hoarding things, stealing.
There you go.
So
something that can be harmful to your survival. Yeah. I guess. And that's the wrong thing.
And that's how we learn right and wrong, from consequences.
Exactly. So, I don't know. It's just really crazy. But yeah, that's my take on it.
Fair enough. Got anything else?
No, I think that's it.
All right. Hey.
Pretty good one.
Get out there. I'll say watch more soccer. Definitely checking on those leagues.
Yeah. Next time we'll get them.
Yeah. Sure.
I really don't know.
Hey, like, subscribe, watch, share.
We're going to do one more after this?
Yeah, you got one more?
Oh, I have one for you. If you have time, yeah.
Yeah, we got
Right.
Yeah, he was trying to cop out, but look at him getting tired over there.
No, I wasn't.
No, did you go to the gym today?
No. No, I went to work, then
Gameless.
That's it.
Senior,
if I don't go to
lacking game.
If I don't go to McDane's tonight, I'll go to the gym tonight.
If you who?
If I don't go to McDane's tonight, I'll go to the gym tomorrow morning. That's it.
Good night, folks.